Good evening, everyone. Tonight we slip into the tales of the Hitotsume Nyudo, Nurarihyon, and Yamawaro. Stories to lull you into sleep. Like and subscribe if you enjoy, and let's dive in. In a secluded valley, cradled by mist-kissed hills, a humble village rests beneath the sheltering boughs of ancient pines, their needles whispering secrets to the wind. As twilight drapes the sky in hues of lavender and rose, lanterns flicker to life along winding paths, casting pools of golden light that dance on cobblestone and thatch. The air is cool and crisp, woven with the scent of cedar, damp earth, and the delicate sweetness of wild plums, blooming in hidden groves. Each breath feels like a promise, a gentle invitation to pause and listen to the valley's quiet heartbeat. This is the sacred domain of the Hitotsume Nyudo, a one-eyed monk whose silent, unseen stare wards off misfortune, a guardian spirit whose presence is felt in the hush of dusk, in the soft rustle of leaves, in the calm that settles over weary hearts. The villagers, with voices softened by reverence, share tales of a figure glimpsed on the hilltop shrine, his silhouette blurred by the mist, his single eye a beacon that pierces the veil of fate. The Hitotsume Nyudo, they say, is no mere spectre but a protector, his gaze a shield for those who honor the old ways. Rituals of gratitude, offerings to the land, and unity among kin. His stare, though unseen, is said to turn away storms, mend broken fortunes, and guide the lost back to hope. To speak his name is to invite his watchfulness, to feel the weight of his care, as ancient as the stones that mark the valley's sacred places. Tonight, a weaver named Chio ascends the narrow path to the shrine, her steps slow but deliberate, her hands calloused from years at the loom, where she weaves threads into patterns that tell stories of her people. The village has suffered. Crops have withered under an unrelenting sun. Wells have run dry, and a quiet fear has taken root, whispering of worse to come. Chio, whose tapestries once adorned every home, now struggles to sell her work, her family's stores dwindling. She carries a woven cloth, its fibers dyed with indigo and threaded with silver, a gift shaped with her heart's devotion. Her purpose is clear: to seek the Hitotsume Nyudo's blessing, to ask his stare to shield her village from further hardship, to weave a new pattern of hope into their days. The path climbs through a grove of pines, their branches arching like a cathedral, and the shrine comes into view, a modest structure of weathered wood and stone. Its torii gate standing sentinel, framed by mist. Moss clings to the steps, soft underfoot, and the air grows heavy, scented with incense, earth, and a faint trace of plum blossoms, as if the valley itself breathes an offering. A low hum rises, subtle at first, like a chant woven into the wind, its cadence steady and soothing, resonating with the rhythm of Chio's heartbeat. The lanterns along the path glow brighter, their light cutting through the gathering dusk, and the mist parts, revealing the shrine's roof, tiled with memories of countless prayers. Chio's breath slows, her shoulders easing as she feels the Hitotsume Nyudo's presence, a silent guardian whose gaze, though unseen, wraps the valley in a mantle of peace. She kneels before the altar, her cloth offering folded in her lap, and whispers a prayer. her voice a thread in the night's quiet tapestry, seeking the spirit's watchful eye to mend what has been frayed. The hum deepens, a resonant pulse that seems to rise from the earth itself, vibrating through the pine needles and the shrine's ancient stones. Chiyo places her woven cloth on the altar, its silver threads catching the lantern's glow, a delicate shimmer against the rough wood. The mist swirls, denser now, and shadows shift across the stone steps, formless yet alive, like ripples in a still pond stirred by an unseen hand. "Hitotsume Nyudo," she murmurs, her voice soft but fervent, a weaver's plea spun with care. She offers thanks for the village's past blessings, the rains that once fell, the harvest that fed them, the laughter that filled their homes. But her words turn to the present, to the sun-scorched fields, the dry wells, the children who grow thin, her own loom silent for lack of trade. She begs for the Nyudo stare to turn away misfortune, to restore the valley's bounty, to give her hands purpose again. The shadows pause, and the hum softens, becoming a sigh that carries weight, like the echo of a bell fading into silence. A vision blooms in Chiyo's mind, vivid and sharp. The village thriving, fields green with rice, wells brimming, her tapestries adorning homes once more, their patterns alive with stories of renewal. The image is so clear she can smell the rain, hear the laughter of children, feel the weight of coin in her hands. But the vision shifts, darkening, replaced by cracked earth, empty stalls in the market, and a sky heavy with dust. Chiyo's heart lurches, a thread snapping in her chest. "Please protect us," she pleads, her voice breaking, but the shrine remains silent, the hum gone, the air still. The elders' tales echo in her mind. The Hitotsume Nyudo guards those who live in harmony, who honor the land and each other. But Chiyo recalls the village's recent discord, neighbors arguing over water, families hoarding what little they have, her own moments of resentment when her work went unsold. The mist thickens, cloaking the shrine in a silver veil, and the lanterns dim, their light struggling to pierce the fog. Doubt creeps into Chiyo's heart, cold as the stone beneath her knees. Has the village's disunity dimmed the Nyudo's gaze? Has her own bitterness, her quiet envy of those with more, weakened her offering? She thinks of her cloth, painstakingly woven, and wonders if it is too small, too flawed, a reflection of her own imperfect heart. The pines creak in the distance, their branches swaying as if in judgment, and a chill settles over her, sharp against the warmth of her prayer. She tries to speak again, to renew her plea, but her words falter, swallowed by the silence. The vision of the barren village lingers, a weight that presses against her chest, and she fears her climb was in vain, that the Hitotsume Nyudo stare has turned away, leaving her people to face the shadow of misfortune alone. Chiyo bows her head, her hands clutching the altar's edge, the mist a shroud around her, and the night feels heavier, the shrine a silent witness to her growing despair. The mist stirs, parting like a curtain drawn by unseen hands, and the hum returns, warm and resonant, a melody that pulses through the shrine like a heartbeat. Chiyo lifts her eyes, the altar glowing in the soft moonlight, the pines swaying gently, their needles whispering encouragement. The Hitotsume Nyudo's presence is a gentle weight, a tide that washes over her, urging her to look within, to unweave the knots of doubt and fear. She closes her eyes, and memories flood her senses. Her grandmother teaching her to weave, her fingers guiding Chiyos to form patterns of clouds and rivers. The village gathered at festivals, sharing rice and song. The unity that once bound them, strong as the threads in her loom. The Nyudo stare, she realizes, protects not just the land, but the bonds that hold it, the harmony that weaves a village into a family. Chiyo speaks, her voice no longer a plea but a vow, steady and clear despite the tears that trace her cheeks. She promises to mend the village's rifts, to share her tapestries with those who cannot pay, to visit each home and listen, to weave stories of hope into her work. She speaks of her love for her craft, how each thread carries her heart, her dreams for her people, her resolve to be a thread that binds them. She confesses her bitterness, her moments of envy, and vows to let them go, to make her loom a place of generosity, not gain. Her words are a tapestry, each one a stitch in a pattern of healing, a cloth to drape over the valley's wounds. She speaks of her grandmother's lessons, of the festivals that filled her childhood, of the joy in giving without expecting return, and her heart grows lighter, the weight of doubt unraveling. The vision returns, brighter now. Fields lush with green, wells sparkling under the sun, children running through the market, her tapestries hanging in every home, their patterns a story of unity. But now Chiyo is there, her hands offering cloth to neighbors, her smile a bridge across old grudges, her loom a hearth where the village gathers. The lanterns flare, their light warm and unwavering, casting a golden glow over the shrine, and a soft breeze carries the scent of wild plums, sweet and grounding, filling the air with promise. The Hitotsume Nyudo's blessing is clear. Protection flows through unity, through hearts woven together, not through offerings alone. Chiyo weeps, not from sorrow, but from gratitude, her tears falling like rain on parched earth. She feels the village's pulse, a rhythm that matches her own, a song of hope and renewal. The shrine glows, its stones alive with moonlight, the cloth on the altar shimmering as if threaded with stars, and Chiyo knows the Nyudo stare is upon them, a guardian's gaze strengthened by her vow, a light to guide the valley through its darkest days. The hum fades, leaving a silence that is not empty but full, like the pause before dawn, rich with possibility and peace. Chiyo rises, her woven cloth gleaming on the altar, its silver threads a reflection of the stars now bright above. The mist has lifted, the air warm with the scent of cedar, plums, and the faint trace of incense, a fragrance that soothes her soul. The lanterns along the path glow steadily, their light a guide through the pines, and the shrine feels alive, its stones humming with the echo of her vow. Chiyo feels the village below, not as a weight, but as a family. Its homes and fields a tapestry she will help weave anew, thread by thread, with kindness and care. She thanks the Hitotsume Nyudo, her voice steady, resonant with gratitude and resolve. She promises to return with her neighbors, to bring them to the shrine, to share her vow and rebuild the unity that once defined them. She will visit each home, listen to their fears, offer her tapestries as gifts, and weave stories of hope into every cloth, making her loom a beacon for the valley. As she descends the path, the pines whisper, their branches swaying in approval, and the stars twinkle, bright as the promise in her heart. The valley feels alive, its hills and fields stirring with potential, the discord of recent days softening under the Nyudo's unseen gaze. Chiyo smiles, her grandmother's teachings woven into her steps, her hands itching to return to the loom, to create patterns that will warm her people's homes and hearts. The shrine fades into the mist behind her, but its presence lingers, a quiet guardian watching over the valley, its stones holding the memory of countless prayers, now joined by Chiyo's vow. The Hitotsume Nyudo remains on the hill, its single eye turned to the horizon, ready for the next soul, the next plea for protection. The village sleeps below, its lanterns glowing softly, its fields dreaming of rain, its people bound by a promise that will grow with each shared story, each offered hand. Chiyo reaches the village, her heart light, the path clear before her. The night is kind, wrapping the valley in a blanket of stars, and the air hums with the quiet rhythm of hope, a lullaby for a people ready to weave their future together under the watchful stare of their guardian spirit. In a coastal town, where weathered wooden houses lean toward the sea like old friends sharing secrets, the night unfurls in shades of indigo and silver, a canvas of tranquil beauty. Lanterns sway gently from the eaves, their amber light dancing on cobblestone paths that wind between homes, reflecting in the puddles left by the day's tide. The air is warm and salty, woven with the scent of seaweed, grilled fish, and the comforting aroma of steaming rice, a melody of home that soothes the soul. The sea murmurs beyond the town, its waves a lullaby older than memory, each crest a story whispered to the shore. This is the domain of the Nurarihyon, a spirit who slips into homes unnoticed, sitting as a guest at their tables, his presence a quiet thread in the fabric of daily life, a reminder of the grace in hospitality. Townsfolk share stories of a figure who joins their meals, unseen until he departs, leaving behind a sense of calm, as if the house itself sighs in relief. The Nurarihyon, they say, blesses homes that welcome strangers, that keep their doors open and their tables set for unexpected guests. His visits are not announced, but felt, in the warmth of a shared meal, in the laughter that lingers, in the peace that settles over a troubled heart. Tonight, a baker named Jiro sits in his modest home, the air rich with the scent of freshly baked bread, the table set with rice, fish, and a loaf still warm from the oven. His daughter, Mio, lies ill upstairs, her fever unyielding, and Jiro's heart is heavy, his bakery struggling as customers dwindle, his hands idle without the coin to buy flour. He has heard the tales of the Nurarihyon and hopes a guest, even an unseen one, might bring solace, might lighten the shadow that has fallen over his home. Jiro lights a lantern, its glow casting soft shadows on the wooden walls, and opens the front door, a silent invitation to the night. The sea's rhythm fills the room, a gentle counterpoint to the crackle of the hearth, and the air grows heavy, scented with jasmine and salt, as if the tide has carried a visitor ashore. A soft shuffle stirs, faint as slippers brushing tatami, and the lantern flickers, its light bending as if to greet someone. Jiro's breath slows, his shoulders easing as he feels a presence settle at the table, unseen but undeniable. The rice bowl seems fuller, the fish brighter, and the bread's aroma richer, as if blessed by an unspoken grace. Jiro's heart steadies, a quiet hope kindling within him. He feels the Nurarihyon near, a guest whose presence weaves peace into the very walls of his home, a promise of comfort in the night's gentle embrace. The shuffle grows, a delicate rhythm that blends with the sea's distant song, and Jiro glances at the table, where the rice bowl brims, the fish gleams, and the bread seems to glow in the lantern's light. Shadows shift across the room, formless but alive, like ripples on the tide, curling around the edges of the hearth. Nurarihyon, he whispers, his voice a baker's offering, warm and earnest. He gives thanks for the meal, for the home that has sheltered them, and prays for Mio's recovery, for a bountiful catch to trade for flour, for the strength to keep his bakery alive. He speaks of Mio's fever, her small hands that once kneaded dough beside him, his fear of losing her, his worry that his bread will no longer feed the town. His words are a loaf rising, shaped with love and fear, cast into the night with hope for a blessing. The shadows pause, and a warmth fills the room, as if the hearth has flared, though the fire burns steady. A vision forms in Jiro's mind, vivid and heart-achingly clear, his home vibrant with laughter, Mio spinning in the kitchen, her cheeks flushed with health, the bakery bustling with customers, shelves heavy with golden loaves. The image is so real, he can smell the yeast, hear Mio's giggle, feel the weight of flour sacks in his arms. But the vision darkens, replaced by a silent bakery, Mio pale and still, the sea empty of fish, his hands empty of dough. Jiro's heart twists, a crust breaking under pressure. Please, stay with us, he pleads, his voice raw. But the room falls silent, the shuffle gone, the warmth fading. The elders' tales echo. The Nurarihyon blesses homes with open hearts. But Jiro recalls his recent bitterness, turning away a traveller seeking bread, closing his door to neighbours, letting fear shut him off from the town's warmth. The lantern dims, its light struggling against a creeping chill, and the shadows grow still, as if the Nurarihyon has withdrawn. Jiro's doubt swells, a cold weight in his chest, whispering that his home is unworthy, that Mio's illness is a punishment for his closed heart. He sets out more bread, a small loaf baked with the last of his flour, but the shadows remain unmoved, the rice bowl unchanged. The sea's murmur feels distant, a reminder of his empty nets, and Jiro sits, his hands trembling, the table a silent witness to his failure. He thinks of Mio upstairs, her fever burning, and fears the Nurarihyon has left, his plea unheard, his home no longer a place of welcome, but a shell of worry and loss. The night presses in, the hearth's crackle faint, and Jiro's heart aches, the weight of his fear heavier than ever, the promise of the Nurarihyon's blessing slipping through his fingers like sand. The lantern flares, its light warm and golden, cutting through the chill, and the shuffle returns, soft as a sigh, a melody that weaves through the room like a warm current. Jiro lifts his eyes, the table bathed in a gentle glow, the shadows dancing like waves lapping at the shore. The Nurarihyon's presence is a tide, steady and enveloping, urging him to look within, to knead the dough of his heart anew. He closes his eyes, and memories rise. Mio's small hands shaping bread, the town gathering at his bakery for festivals, sharing loaves under the stars, the warmth of open doors and shared stories. The Nurarihyon, he realizes, seeks not just a seat at the table, but a heart that welcomes all, a home that breathes kindness, even in hardship. Jiro speaks, his voice no longer a plea but a vow, firm and resonant despite the tears that wet his cheeks. He promises to open his door, to share his bread with travelers and neighbors, to make his bakery a hearth for the town, as it was in his father's time. He speaks of Mio's laughter, her strength even in illness, his hope for her recovery, and his resolve to be a light in the dark, to bake not for coin, but for connection. He confesses his bitterness, his moments of closing off, and vows to let them go, to make his home a place where all are welcome, where the Nurarihyon spirit can rest. His words are a loaf, kneaded with love, baked in the fire of his heart, offered to the night with unwavering resolve. The vision returns, brighter now. Mio dancing in the kitchen, her fever gone, the bakery alive with customers, travelers and townsfolk sharing bread at his table, their laughter a song that fills the air. But now Jiro is there, his door wide, his hands offering loaves, his smile an invitation to all. The shadows swirl, a gentle dance, and a warm breeze carries the scent of jasmine and salt, soothing and sweet, filling the room with life. The Nurarihyon's blessing is clear. A home open to all is a home blessed, its warmth a shield against sorrow. Jiro weeps, his tears warm with gratitude, feeling Mio's presence in the air, her strength a spark in his heart. The rice bowl brims, the bread glows, and the sea sings, a lullaby of hope that wraps the house in peace. The room feels alive, the hearth's fire bright, and Jiro knows the Nurarihyon lingers, a guest whose presence seals his vow, weaving his home into the town's heart. The shuffle fades, leaving a silence full of calm, like the sea at dawn, its surface smooth and radiant with possibility. Jiro sits, the table glowing in the lantern's steady light, the rice and fish abundant, the bread a golden promise of tomorrow. The air is warm, scented with jasmine, salt, and the yeasty comfort of home, a fragrance that soothes his soul. He feels Mio upstairs, not as a fear but as a hope, her spirit strong in the home they've built, her recovery a light on the horizon. The Nurarihyon has not healed her, but it has given Jiro a path to peace, a vow to welcome, to share, to make his home a beacon of kindness in a town shadowed by hardship. Jiro thanks the Nurarihyon, his voice steady, resonant with gratitude and purpose. He promises to keep his door open, to bake for all who come, to share his table with travelers, neighbors, and strangers alike, to make his bakery a place where the town's heart beats. He rises to check on Mio, her breathing easier in the quiet, and the sea murmurs outside, a melody of connection that binds his home to the world beyond. The lantern glows a beacon of warmth, and Jiro smiles, his father's lessons in his heart, his hands ready to knead the dough of tomorrow. The town sleeps, its houses dreaming under the stars, their doors ajar for unseen guests, their tables set for the kindness that will weave them together. The Nurarihyon slips away, its work done, gliding to the next home, the next heart in need of warmth. The night is gentle, the sea a mirror for the stars, its waves whispering stories of welcome and peace. Jiro rests, his home alive with the promise of shared meals, of laughter that will fill the air, of a daughter who will bake beside him again. The lantern burns steady, the hearth crackles softly, and the night wraps the town in a blanket of quiet grace, ready for the dawn's light to rise over open doors and generous hearts. In a rugged mountain range, where jagged peaks pierce the clouds like the spines of ancient dragons, a hidden cave nestles in a fold of stone, its mouth glowing with the promise of warmth. At dusk, the sky blazes with hues of orange and crimson, casting a fiery glow over pine-covered slopes where needles carpet the earth in a soft, fragrant bed. The air is crisp, alive with the scent of resin, moss, and the cool tang of stone, a symphony of solitude that hums through the wild. The wind whispers through ancient trees, carrying tales of travelers and storms, each gust a verse in the mountain's eternal song. This is the realm of the Yamawaro, a spirit who guards a cave of refuge, sharing its firelit warmth with those lost in the mountain's embrace, a silent host whose presence is felt in the flicker of embers and the shelter of stone. Hunters and wanderers speak of a cave that appears when the storms rage fiercest, its firelight a beacon cutting through rain and dark, its warmth a gift from an unseen guardian. The Yamawaro, they say, aids those who respect the mountain's ways, who tread lightly, offer thanks for its gifts, and honor its ancient rhythms. Its cave is a sanctuary, a place where the weary find rest, where the lost find direction, where the heart finds peace. Tonight, a healer named Aya wanders the slopes, her basket empty, her body weary from days of searching for herbs to cure her village's sick. A storm brews on the horizon, its thunder a low growl, and Aya's strength fades, her village far below, her heart heavy with the weight of failure. She has heard the tales of the Yamawaro's cave and prays for its shelter, for a chance to find the herbs that will save her people, for a spark of hope to carry her through the night. Aya clutches a sprig of mugwort, its leaves a soft green offering for the mountain, and follows a faint trail, her steps guided by instinct and desperation. The wind howls, tugging at her cloak, and the pines sway, their branches pointing to a rocky outcrop where a soft glow spills from a cave's mouth, warm and inviting against the darkening sky. A low hum rises, resonant and soothing, like stones singing in a hidden stream, its cadence weaving through the storm's roar. The air grows heavy, scented with pine, embers, and the faint musk of wet earth, as if the mountain itself breathes a welcome. Aya's breath steadies, her heart finding calm in the glow, her fatigue easing as she steps closer. The cave's light flickers, casting shadows that dance on the stone, and she feels the Yamawaro near, its unseen warmth a promise of shelter, a sanctuary woven into the mountain's ancient heart, ready to cradle her in its quiet embrace. The hum grows, a deep resonance that pulses through the cave's stone walls. And Aya steps inside, where a small fire burns, its flames casting a golden dance on the rough-hewn rock. Shadows shift, formless but alive, curling like smoke in the warm air, their movements fluid as a mountain stream. "Yamawaro," she calls, her voice soft but steady, a healer's prayer shaped with care. She places the mugwort by the fire, an offering of gratitude for the mountain's gifts, and speaks of her village, children burning with fever, elders weakened, her basket empty of the herbs that could save them. She confesses her fear, her exhaustion, her worry that her skills are not enough, her words a tincture brewed with hope and despair, offered to the cave's quiet heart. The shadows pause, and the fire flares, its light brightening the cave, casting a vision in Aya's mind, a forest lush with medicinal herbs, their leaves gleaming under sunlight, her basket overflowing, the village vibrant with health, children running through the fields. The image is so vivid, she can smell the mint, feel the soft leaves in her hands, hear the laughter of her people. But the vision shifts, darkening, replaced by barren slopes, her basket empty, the storm raging outside, her village silent with sickness. Aya's heart sinks, a root torn from the earth. "Please guide me," she pleads, her voice trembling. But the cave falls silent, the hum gone, the fire dimming. The elders' tales echo. The Yamawaro aids those who honor the mountain, who take with thanks and give in return. But Aya recalls her haste these past days, picking plants without pause, neglecting to offer thanks, rushing through the wild in her desperation to save her people. The fire's light wanes, and the storm's roar grows louder, its wind slipping into the cave, cold against the warmth. Aya's doubt swells, a bitter herb in her throat, whispering that she is unworthy, that her village will suffer for her carelessness. She places more mugwort by the fire, her hands shaking, but the shadows remain still, the cave's warmth fading. The storm's thunder feels closer, a reminder of her failure, and Aya huddles by the fire, her basket a hollow weight beside her. She thinks of the sick waiting below, their trust in her fading, and fears the Yamawaro has turned away, her plea unanswered, the cave a fleeting shelter in a night of despair. The shadows loom, the fire's embers faint, and Aya's heart aches, the weight of her failure heavier than the storm, the promise of the Yamawaro's warmth slipping from her grasp. The fire flares, its light roaring back to life, bathing the cave in a golden glow, and the hum returns, deep and steady, a song that resonates through the stone like the mountain's own voice. Aya lifts her eyes, the walls alive with dancing shadows, the flames casting patterns of leaves and streams. The Yamawaro's presence is a solid warmth, a boulder in a river, urging her to reflect, to dig deep into the soil of her heart. She closes her eyes, and memories flood her, her mentor teaching her to thank each plant, to kneel and offer words of gratitude, the mountain's gifts of herbs and water, the balance of taking and giving that sustains the wild. The Yamawaro, she realizes, seeks not just offerings but respect, a heart that honors the mountain's rhythms, that walks lightly on its paths. Aya speaks, her voice no longer a plea but a vow, firm and resonant despite the tears that fall. She promises to honor the mountain, to take only what she needs, to offer thanks for every leaf, to teach her village to give back to the wild. She speaks of her love for healing, her joy in easing pain, her hope for the sick, and her resolve to be a steward of the mountain's gifts. She confesses her haste, her moments of taking without gratitude, and vows to let them go, to make her work a prayer of balance. Her words are a salve, soothing her heart, binding her to the mountain's pulse. She speaks of her mentor's lessons, of the quiet joy in finding a rare herb, of the village's trust in her hands, and her heart grows lighter, the weight of failure crumbling like dry earth under rain. The vision returns, brighter now, herbs abundant in a sunlit forest, her basket full, the village alive with health, children playing, elders strong. But now Aya is there, kneeling to thank each plant, her hands gentle, her voice a song of gratitude that echoes through the wild. The fire roars, its warmth enveloping the cave, and a soft breeze carries the scent of pine, moss, and wet earth, grounding and sweet, filling the air with life. The Yamawaro's blessing is clear, shelter and herbs for a heart that respects the mountain, a gift earned through balance and care. Aya weeps, her tears warm with gratitude, feeling the mountain's strength in her bones, her heart a seed ready to grow. The cave glows, its walls shimmering with light, her basket now holding a few herbs, glowing like embers, embers a promise of more to come. Aya knows the Yamawaro's warmth is with her, a guardian's gift renewed by her vow, a light to guide her through the storm to the healing her village needs. The hum fades, leaving a silence full of hope, like the mountain's quiet breath before dawn, rich with the promise of new growth. Aya rises, her basket cradling a few herbs, their leaves radiant in the firelight, a seed of the bounty she will find. The storm has passed, its thunder a distant memory, and the air is warm, scented with pine, embers, and the musk of earth, a fragrance that soothes her soul. The cave feels alive, its stone walls humming with the echo of her vow, its warmth a lingering embrace. Aya feels her village below, not as a burden, but as a purpose, their healing a path she will walk with care, guided by the mountain's quiet strength. She thanks the Yamawaro, her voice steady, resonant with gratitude and resolve. She promises to return with offerings, to teach her people to honor the mountain, to thank each plant, to give back to the wild that sustains them. As she steps from the cave, the pines whisper, their branches swaying in approval, and the stars shine through a clearing sky, bright as the hope in her heart. The trail feels clear, guiding her down the slopes, and Aya smiles, her mentor's teachings woven into her steps, her basket a promise for the sick. The cave's glow fades behind her, but its warmth lingers, a quiet guardian of the mountain, its stone holding the memory of her vow, joined to countless others who found shelter in its embrace. The Yamawaro rests within the cave, its work done, its fire ready for the next traveler, the next storm. The mountain sleeps, its slopes and trails dreaming under a gentle sky, their paths whispering of refuge and renewal. Aya descends, her steps light, her heart steady, the night wrapping her in a blanket of peace, ready for the village's dawn, where her hands will bring healing, and her voice will share the mountain's lessons. The stars watch, the wind carries her vow, and the wild hums softly, a lullaby for a healer whose work will grow like the herbs she seeks, rooted in respect and gratitude.